Hey guys, it's Jimmy from LelegacyCrafting. Before I get started, I just want to let y'all know about a little giveaway I'm having for these sickles. So be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and be sure to check the description below on the rules and how to enter. I'll be announcing the winner sometime in June. So I'm going to be making Upper Moon 6 Gyutaro Sickles today. I had to go through the manga and get as many references as I could to get the shape and the color scheme. So I want to give a huge shout out to my boy Poria Afshar. Me and him worked together to create this model, so without him, I wouldn't have this model today. So here I just loaded up to my 3D printing slicing program and just get it ready to print. Now if you want to buy this piece, you can check out my Etsy where I'll sell it with either a complete finish or you can build it yourself with a DIY kit. If you want to get access to the digital STL files to 3D print it yourself, consider joining my Patreon where you can get access to that and a bunch of other different models. I won't be selling the STL files on my Etsy for a while, so right now it's going to be early access for my Patreons, and then eventually I'll release it. So this is what I ended up with after I finished 3D printing it, which leads me to my first step. So I had to test fit everything first. As you can see in the model, I already have holes built into the model where I can fit in wooden dowels. This is going to help provide support for the sickle, as well as help with the alignment of the different parts. Now that I test fitted everything, my second step is to begin gluing. So my third step was to begin sanding, and this is probably one of the most tedious parts. As you can see, there's some joint issues with a little bit of flashing, so I'm just gonna sand the joints down to make it more flush. You can use the X-Acto knife to cut away the excess, or you can just sand it by hand. So I'm just gonna clean up all the joints and then sand the whole thing down. For this I use a medium grit paper, so around 180 to 220. Now that I sanded everything, there might be a couple gaps that I need to fill in where the seams were, so I'm just going to use a little bit of Bondo and fill in the gaps. And once your Bondo is dry, you're going to have to go back in with your sandpaper and start sanding the Bondo down. And if you still see a crease or you still see a gap, just apply more Bondo, wait till it dries, and then sand it again. Once I finish with all the sanding, I'm going to start spray painting it with the primer/filler. Personally, I like to use Krylon Crystal Flat Clear. That's just my preference, but you can use whatever you feel comfortable with. Once everything was dried, I had to repeat that tedious step again, which is fine sanding. So grab your finest sandpaper or sanding block and just start sanding everything down. So moving on to step 7 is painting. So I went to Home Depot, had a custom color made, and just started spray painting everything. So the funny story, you know, I'm not good with painting, so I just went with the color I thought was right, and it turned out very bad. So don't trust me with this painting part. So I passed on this whole painting project to my partner in crime, Kohcoz. So give her a follow. She helps me with a lot of these props. So we cracked open a new airbrush and we started airbrushing for the first time. So this is her first attempt at airbrushing, and you can see for yourself, it just looks a lot better than what I had planned. Before, after. Before, after. I prefer the after. Don't trust me to paint your stuff.
Oh my God, sure.
So there you have it, my Gyutaro Sickles. If you liked the video, please hit that like and subscribe button. Huge shout out to my partner in crime, Kohcoz, and my teammate, Poria Afshar. So consider giving them a follow, as well as checking out my social media platforms and giving me a follow. And I guess just share this video to help my channel grow. Leave a comment on what we should make next, and consider joining my Patreon where you can get access to this and different files. I'll see y'all in the next video.